Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show, The Other Side of Now. We are just so excited to have you guys back with us. And joining me today, this is such a special episode because I have one of my best friends and soul sisters, Kim Evans, joining us. She's not only my friend and a mentor and a coach for me, but Kim has helped so many people in many different ways through her practice. She is a life transition and business strategist, and there are just all of these fabulous things we're going to get into today. So Miss Kim, thanks for joining us.
Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here. And I first want to begin by congratulating my bestie. Sandy and I have talked about this for years. She's had this idea, and I'm so excited that she has birthed this idea when we really need it. And not only has she birthed this idea, but she's brought together a wonderful tribe. And I think what, Sandy and Cheryl and Linda and Cantrell are doing is phenomenal. And I'm so honored to be here today. So thank you, Sandy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, my love. It feels good that we can all be in this collective energy together doing this work.
Absolutely.
We
need it more than ever. And you're right. We need that unity. We need to know that we're not alone. And I was so impressed with everything that Cottrell shared, the vulnerability that she shared. And that's one of the things too that I've been so impressed with your show is how real and authentic everyone is.
Thank you. We really received that. And to what you're saying with Cottrell, what today really is about for all of our listeners and our viewers is it's a true extension off of our last episode, episode 3, which we talked about the gift of failure and the many different aspects of vulnerability and disappointment and how we deal with life when it doesn't go as planned. And what's so beautiful about the work that Kim does is she works with individuals and businesses on these very things and helping people to get to the other side of challenges. So, Kim, I'm really going to toss it to you on this now and, just kind of take us away as we kind of journey through more of this discussion about our failures and our disappointments.
Oh, I'm so happy to. I think what Cheryl shared and the fact that we need to shift the word failure and the word vulnerability into really loving and appreciating ourselves. And where I come in is how do we do that? These words are so easy and we've read them and we listen to our mentors about them. But what I really try to do is break it down on how do we do that? And one of the things of when we look at vulnerability, that's disempowering. When we give ourselves a hard time, that's disempowering. And so when we're able to shift that, we immediately feel lighter, more hopeful, and empowered. What we generally don't realize is that when we are giving ourselves a hard time about an experience, Cottrell was talking about that, and we can do what I call looping. We can continue to remind ourselves about what felt like a failure, but I really see as a mistake and a learning experience. Whatever that was, we feel like we need to keep that front and center to continue to remind ourselves so we don't do it again. But what we don't realize is by keeping it front and center, we keep it right here and in our future. It comes with a heavy weight. It comes with a feeling of where we're not being supportive, and most of all, we don't feel good about ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so we think that by continuing to remind ourselves of this, we're doing the best thing possible. But what we really need to do is that part of us, people always say, Kim, I want to get rid of that part, or I want to cut that part out of me. And it's like, no, really, that part is trying to be a really good friend to you. I know it doesn't feel like it's trying to be a friend, but it's really trying to be a really good friend. And so what we need to do is teach that part of ourselves how to be a better friend. And so then that's the next piece. People will say, well, I don't know how to do that. But yet, if I immediately say, what would you say to your best friend? Or what would you say to your niece? Or what would you say to your child? You don't hesitate. You immediately know how to be supportive and compassionate and understanding. But yet, it's a foreign language to us. We
Right.
seriously don't know how to do it. But yet, what I really try and help people see is that by shifting to a more compassionate, understanding voice within to ourselves, we have once again lifted ourselves. We are over 50% water. Men actually have more water within us than women do.
Mhm.
And, you know, everything travels, vibration travels through water. And our words are a vibration. And so whether we say them internally or externally, it's a vibration that's coming from within.
Right.
So when we think about saying to ourselves, "Ah, that was really stupid," or how dumb, or I feel like a failure, can you feel that weight?
Yeah.
Can you feel what happens to your gut? And though if we say something like, oops, that was a mistake, I'm learning from that. And then if we look at words of compassion and happy and joyful and loving, those are uplifting vibrations. And once we can begin to now replace that language, now we're moving and shifting the energy, which is what Cheryl was saying we all need to do.
Sure. Kim, what was I'm blanking on the name of I think it was a scientist that did the water experiment. And
Oh, yes,
for
Dr. Emoto.
everyone, you can go on YouTube and watch this. It's fascinating. But this is what Kim is talking about, where this scientist literally showed how water responds to vibration.
That's absolutely right. He did. Unfortunately, he passed a couple of years ago, Dr. Emoto.
Right.
And he did a wonderful experiment. He took jars, filled them with water, but put different words under them, whether it would be hate or love, compassion, stupid, war, peace, all of these words he put under, and he let them sit there with those words and that vibration. And then he froze them. He froze the mugs of water. And then he sliced those frozen pieces and examined them under the microscope to see what their crystallized state looked like. And it was amazing. It was truly amazing to see what love and peace looked like versus war and stupid and failure look like. I mean, it was polluted, those words.
It really was fascinating because the harsher, denser words froze in these very mutated, scary ways. And
Yes,
then the loving and kind and compassionate words froze in these almost perfect snowflake icicle shapes. And when you see something that tangible, and again, as you were saying, our bodies are primarily made up of water, it goes back to our internal dialogue and what we're saying to ourselves on a regular basis, that manifesting within the body.
absolutely. And using that word frozen reminded me what can happen, even with myself. I can feel frozen sometimes.
Mm.
Someone will say something and I'll just freeze. It's like, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what the appropriate response is. And when we become frozen or when we withdraw, think about a pond that it's not flowing and it becomes putrid.
Mm.
That's what also Dr. Emoto saw with those other words, with those lower vibrational words. And that's what happens within ourselves. When we freeze, everything is not just holding, but now we've contaminated our own water. We've contaminated our own vibration, and we've created a heaviness. When we think, one of the analogies that I like to use is a hot air balloon. And so when you think about you want to lift off, you want to go towards your dreams and goals and aspirations, but yet you can feel tied down. And so when you think about the hot air balloon and the different cords that keep it down on the ground, what we want to do to ourselves is we want to release those cords, release those cords that are pulling us down so we can feel lighter, so we can lift and move towards our dreams.
Absolutely. Now, when you say that, Kim, I'm sure we have a lot of people going, so how do you do that? How do I release these cords, or how do I cut these parts of me that feel strapped or stuck to those spaces?
Well, exactly. Linda talked about worthiness. And once again, that's a higher vibrational word. And so we are in automatic pilot. Once again, when we look at reminding ourselves, we think that we're doing the right thing by reminding ourselves of a failure or a mistake. I would really love everybody never to use that word again, never to use failure again. Really just realize it's all life lessons. How do we change? How do we grow? One of the things that I used to do, and that thankfully I finally stopped doing it in my 30s, was with each life lesson, I would say, oh, I just need to get stronger. I just need to keep working harder. And then it finally dawned on me is that, in order for us to get stronger, it's those challenges that keep coming at us. And so I had to look at, I was asking for harder challenges because I kept saying I just need to get stronger. And so it was like I shifted that language and said, okay, I would like those lessons and I would like them in a more peaceful way. So with everything that we do, whether we're trying to help ourselves learn from our mistakes, remember, if you keep it front and center, that's not helping you. We want to shift that life mistake and have compassion and forgiveness for ourselves. So now it can disappear, it can dissolve, and we can focus on what's coming up for us and trust ourselves that we've learned from that mistake, learned from that life lesson.
Absolutely. It's making me think about, and this is a conversation for another time, but when you said what our primary thoughts are, that's what manifests.
That's right.
And so, like, as you shared, the more you say, I have to get stronger, then life says, okay, I'm going to keep presenting you with ways that would reflect you asking for that energy.
That's right. Yeah, I was saying, bring it on. And that's not what I meant, but that's what kept happening to me.
Right.
And in fact, back then, many years ago, that's when Oprah had her show. And someone said one of the exact same things, one of her guests, that I was saying, and Oprah went, no, no. And she too had learned. We were asking for a lot harder lessons, and we didn't realize that.
Sure.
And so we need to shift our language and get out of automatic pilot. When Eckhart and other people talk about living in the now, what living in the now really means is slowing our inner dialogue down, even our dialogue with others, and listening. What are we telling ourselves? A lot of times we're so in automatic pilot that maybe until all of a sudden our muscles feel tight or we've got a pit in the stomach, do we go, gosh, what's going on? And I always tell people, listen, what were you telling yourself, before you noticed that your muscles were tight or all of a sudden you had, an upset tummy? A lot of times it's that self-talk.
Yeah. Something you shared with me recently was very much connected to this and in the energy of judgment. And you had said, when we remove judgment from our inner dialogue, we remove the failure. And then we can arrive at the compassion for ourselves, which actually allows us to heal through the process.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me about that. We don't like to be judged. Think about whether it's our family, our significant other, our friends, our coworkers. If we feel judged, it doesn't feel good. But yet, we judge ourselves all the time. So if we can remove that judgment, we have also removed that feeling of failure. And then that helps us shift to a more understanding and compassionate voice within. So, what we think again is we need to judge ourselves to learn from those mistakes, but we resist what our own inner dialogue is. That's what internal conflict is. When you feel so torn up inside, a lot of it is our own internal conflict, are those voices conflicting with one another. One voice saying, you failed, or that was a big mistake. How could you have done that, right? We all say things like that to ourselves versus, wow, okay, that's a good one to continue to work on and learn. And then ask yourself this question: how would I have done it differently? And then really embrace however you saw doing it differently, and then promise yourself that that's what you're going to work on, that's what you're going to move forward with. You might want to journal about it. Those that love to journal, this is a great exercise to journal on. Or for those that don't enjoy journaling, just give yourself, sort of that affirmation throughout the day. So if you start in the morning and you say, okay, this is how I would like my day to go, and this is the lesson that I want to take with me into the day, now you've set the intention of your day in a much lighter, much more supportive and compassionate way.
Absolutely. So, Kim, we touched on the power of breathing early on, and it was either our first or second episode. And I know that something you've taught me, breathing exercises that have been really effective. So can we get into that a little bit? Because I know there were two different exercises you wanted to share, which tell us a little bit. These things would help with stress or would help in these moments of the different adversity that might present itself in our lives.
Absolutely. And I teach my individual clients this as well as my business clients,
Okay.
because we all are dealing with life all day long. And so these exercises are also something that you can do all day long. I'm going to share with you two of my go to exercises.
Okay.
And the first one is a breathing exercise. You can do it with your eyes closed or your eyes open. This is a great exercise that I also give to the executives that I work with, because they can be in a board meeting, they can be in a staff meeting, wherever they may be. All of a sudden we can feel this surge. It's almost like a wave that comes up, and it can actually overtake us. And so when we feel that surge come up, or we feel our muscles tighten, or we feel frozen, this is the exercise I recommend. And I do it, many times throughout the day. Now, in yoga and other practices, we're trained to exhale out our nose. In this exercise, I'd like everybody to exhale out your mouth gently. And the reason is this: structurally, biologically, when we exhale out our mouth, an amazing thing happens. Our rib cage opens, our lungs relax, and when our lungs relax, our shoulders relax. And so that's what we're wanting. We don't realize how we've got this attachment now between our ears and our shoulders all day long. Because as stress goes up and anxiety goes up throughout the day, so do our shoulders. So with this 4 deep breaths that we're going to do, with each exhale, if you would gently exhale out your mouth, and gentle in the fact of just nice exhale. You don't have to go, because actually you want everything to begin to settle and be more gentle within. So let's everybody take a nice breath, like on the count of 3, as you're breathing in. 1, 2, 3. And then as you exhale 1, 2, 3. But as you're doing that, imagining you're relaxing your shoulders. So nice breath in, and then exhale into those shoulders. Second breath, we're going to take it in, 1, 2, 3. And this time exhale into our hips. The third exhale, this time we're going to exhale all the way down to our feet. And the fourth and last exhale is all the way down into the ground. And then return to your normal breathing, feeling your chest slightly rise and fall. And how do you feel now, Sandy?
It's amazing because it instantly, like you said, everything opens up and
Mm-hmm.
I instantly feel more grounded.
Yes. And I feel better too after that computer glitch.
I
Sandy's
keep
always
teasing
trying
Kim,
to.
I keep teasing Kim that we're best friends, but we're incompatible because I'm a Mac person and she's a PC person. And we have all of these issues between cell phones and computers. I'm like, you're going to convert one day.
So, of course, the first thing that she said when we were off air waiting for my computer to finish updating again was another good reason, Kim, why you're on the wrong team. So this is also a good example of how our friends can have judgments
I apologize.
in a very, very playful way, right? But
Yeah.
yet it's a bigger example of how we can be concerned about what others think. Thankfully, I'm not. I've got a lot of friends. I've got Sandy, I've got Myrna, I've got, Susan, I've got other people who all think I'm on the wrong team. But my brother Mark and I, we're steady and we're a happy Microsoft and PC user.
I
So
love it. I love it. They're all wonderful. We tease with each other, but it's
that's right.
whatever speaks to each person. Truly, truly.
So to continue on, I love what Sandy said in that last episode about this is a journey of self-love. When I was talking about how important it is to begin to have more understanding and compassion, um, and also working towards more loving yourself. Another exercise that I would like to introduce you to is I'd like everybody to take a moment and stand up. I'm not going to stand up, but I'd like everybody to take a moment. Go ahead and stand up.
Do you want me to stand up, Kim?
No, you don't have to stand
Okay.
up. You've
I'm
done.
gonna put my feet flat though. I'm
Yeah,
gonna put my feet
yeah. For those that don't want to stand up, just keep your feet flat on the floor.
flat.
I'd like you to have not bent knees, but soft knees.
Okay.
And we're going to do a similar exercise, but this time I want you to imagine an hourglass and that your body is the hourglass and that the sand is at the top of the hourglass.
Okay.
And for those that are participating, I'd like you now to gently close your eyes and take a nice breath and exhale all the way down to your feet. That's it. And then travel gently back up to the top of your head and imagine that the sand in an hourglass is up there and now it's going to gently and evenly flow all the way down your body and evenly flow into both of your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, and your hips. And so now if you check in with your body, it's amazing. The lower half of your body feels heavier and you feel solid on the ground. And what's so important about that is, especially right now with the virus, a lot of us don't feel as safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is an exercise that you can do all day long, especially if you're, preparing a meal or standing on a sales call or whatever you may be doing. You can do this exercise and now you feel planted and rooted on the ground and you're open, right? How does your head feel right now, Sandy?
Oh yeah, that's exactly, even in a sitting position, I immediately could feel like tingling and a weight in my feet.
Yes.
And again, more openness, and instead of existing in that headspace, everything feels very rooted.
Right. Absolutely. And, all day long, we can become a big, energetic head bubble.
Mhm.
You've seen those in the old cars where, that the bobbing heads, we can become an energetic bobbing head. And then as life comes at us all day long, it just keeps knocking us over. But if we continue to ground ourselves, and those are two good exercises to help you feel more grounded throughout the day, now we're planted and we're open. And now, like in sports, we're in that ready life position and we're ready for anything that can come at us, including being on my best friend's new podcast show and having my computer have a mind of its own. So, as we have our best laid plans.
Yeah.
And in the divine, God, spirit, whatever you believe, will also continue to help us learn new lessons. So this was a perfect time, even though it threw me off a little bit. It was a great time then to do these breathing exercises to help me come back to center and align and ground.
Kim, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And I'm really excited for our viewers to just, get a little piece of the magic that you do for others. And we definitely plan on having you back. So thank you for sharing your wisdom and your insight and your knowledge, because this has just been so, so great.
Thank you again, Sandy. I can't tell you how excited I am for you and the rest of your tribe. I
Yeah.
feel so honored, and
You're part of the tribe now too. We're all
thank
we're
you,
all
thank
in this
you, thank you.
together. Yeah.
And I'm just so excited for you. You are one of the most amazing, artistic, talented, brilliant women that I know. And I'm just so excited for you. So I wish you all the best. Blessings to all of you. And I look forward to coming back again. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, Miss Kim. Before we say bye, is there a way people can reach you? How can we, yes, people that want to contact you for either individual or business oriented things?
There's two ways to reach me. The first is by email, and my email address is KME, those are my initials, at your dash wings, WINGS.com. So the name of my business is Your Wings. And you can also reach me at my phone number, 602-618. 2215. Always great to receive text messages. I see clients back to back. So I don't have time to listen to voicemails, but I'll definitely be able to return a text message throughout the day. So once again, thank you, Sandy. And I'm excited about what you're doing, and I look forward to coming back again.
Yay! We love you, Kim. And to
Love
all of
you.
our viewers and our fans, we are just sending you all the blessings and love and happy vibes for the day. And
Thank you, everybody. Please take good care of yourself right now. This was an important episode about how we need to have more compassion and understanding about ourselves. And we really need to do that today because we're all worldwide. We're in a different situation. And so, if we really needed to be on that journey of self love, today's the day to just continue with everything that Sandy and her team and now myself have been sharing with you. God bless.